Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. Fountain pen focus day, another Australian pen, this time a 3D printed pen from Platypus pens. Beautiful, unusual pen, 3D printed, got this beautiful texture to it. Join me now, down on the table, take a look at the pen, walk through the body, do some size comparisons, weights and measures. I'll do a writing sample, then I'll give you my thoughts and scores for this pen. Welcome down to the table. So here we've got today's pen, the Platypus Model 10. There's loads of different colours. I went for this green. I love my greens. Now I'm going to hold this up. Hopefully the camera can detect this. Try and get that actually into the camera for aim. There we go. Hopefully you can see that pattern. So this is a 3D printed pen. Now I went for this like herringbone type pattern. It's got a number of different finishes available. And when you order the pen, you can tell them what colour you want, what pattern you want. Even like the colour here for the band, you can pick that. There's loads of different options. It's 3D printed, so as long as you can get the material, it tends to be able to actually do any pen that's needed. Very nice. Let's start by taking a walk through the body. So we've already taken a look at the finish. As I've already said, 3D printed pen. At the end here, we've got a little bit of a dome. If you rub your fingers over it and are looking for it, it does feel a little bit rough, but again, you expect that. We come down into the cap tapers out till we get about halfway down. Then it's straight down to the bottom here to this band. That band's got no pattern on it, and then there's a tiny drop off down to the body. You hardly notice the drop off. The body, to me, is the same width again to about halfway down. Then we start to taper down again, a little bit of a sharper taper this time to the other end. Again, I'm looking for it, so it's feeling a little bit rough. If you weren't looking for it, you would not notice. Same with the other end. It's very simple. It's a nice pen though, it's a nice size. I like simple pens. That's what a pen should be. Yes, I've got some fancy pens, but the simple ones, aren't they? They're the ones that you find you gravitate towards. The cap, it comes off in half. 1. 1.5. Just under 2 turns to take the cap off. And what I'm going to do is unscrew the body. So the body comes off. As you see, we've got another white band on it, just at the bottom of the body. Then we've got the threads, and that's where it then unscrews just below those threads. Here we've got the included converter. What you can't see in the body is there's a little bit of weight in there on one side. I'll show you that as we go on. The section uses that same material, but this time it's just a plain, it's got no patterning on it. Again, we've got a couple of them white bands. That then leads us down to the nib. So it's a standard Yoho nib. Nice to write with, a nice pen. Silver colour, it's a steel nib. We've got that nice decorative border on there. And then we've got a B. This is a broad nib. Just a very plain, simple pen. And a lovely nib to go with it. Let's pop that cap back on. Let's swap on over and do some size comparisons. Here's my standard size comparisons. Pilot Metropolitan, the Lamy Safari. The Platypus pen, just that little bit longer than both of them. In terms of width though, it's definitely wider than the Platinum, and I would think even just a little bit wider than we're seeing there with the Safari. Let's take the cap off. With the cap off, the Platypus definitely longer than both the others. That number 6 nib there really fetching that length into it. The other 2 nibs fairly small. I'm just going to move the Platypus. So the bottom of the section, that's now lined up. When we do it that way, the Platypus is very nearly the same length as the other 2. In the hand, it's nice. It's got a nice wide section, feels very nice to use. It will post. Posts, to me, makes it feel back heavy, although there's not a lot of waste there in the cap. But I just find unposted is how I prefer to use this pen, like I do with most of my pens. Let's swap over and look at some pens that are in roughly the same price range. The pens that I've brought in, we've got a Laban 325. That was 146 Aussie dollars when I got it. The Platypus pen, 170 Aussie dollars when I got it. That was over a year ago. Chances are the price has gone up since then. And the Opus 88 Omar, that one's $176. And I bought that one recently, so the price for that will be roughly unchanged. All three pens do look very similar in terms of length. All three pens, number 6 size nibs. The Omar, definitely wider than the Platypus. The Platypus looks to me roughly the same width as that Opus 88. The Platypus does look roughly the same width as the Laban 325. Let's just pop the caps on. With the caps on, the Platypus now, that's a smaller of the three. I'm going to move these all out of the way for a second. As you can see, there's no clip on this pen. But as I said earlier, there's a weight. So there's a weight in one side so that when you roll it, so the weight's now at the bottom. If I roll it, you can see it settles down. Oh, let's try and get that on camera. When I roll it, it settles. So it does make up a little bit for not having the clip. There's no weight in the cap though, so if you put that down, it's going to just roll. I will be honest, I tend to hold my caps when I'm writing, so it doesn't bother me too much. But just be aware, if you put your cap down, that could roll off. Let's swap on over and fetch in the rule of measuring. Here we've got the rule of measuring. Let's fetch in the pen. So the full pen, if we can get the weight in the right place, that comes in at 14.4 centimetres. Unposted, again get the weight in the right place. Here we're looking at 13.7 centimetres and then posted 17 centimetres. The width of the body 1.44 centimetres. The width of the cap 1.58. The section goes from 1.08 up to 1.24. I say nice, comfortable section. Let's move this out of the way and we'll fetch in the scales of weighing. Here we've got the scales of weighing. The full pen. 26 grams, so yeah, about in the middle in terms of weight. Pen alone, 20 grams. The cap, 5 grams. So say the cap very light. The rest of the pen not too bad, and I think part of that's due to the weight that's in the body. Let's swap on over and fetch in the notepad of testing. Just dropping in to interrupt your regular programming. Would you like to help support the channel? If so, please consider joining as a member. As a member, you'll get early access to my videos. I normally upload them a couple of days before they go out, and as soon as they're uploaded, they'll be released to members. There'll also be a shout out at the end of the videos, and then as we get the members coming in, we'll actually chat among ourselves and work out what other perks, what other things you'd like me to add in. You know, would you like maybe a monthly live chat just for members? All down to us. So please, if you can, consider joining the channel. A link will be in the description down below. Here we've got the notepad of testing. This is Oxford Optic paper. It's a really nice fountain pen friendly paper, 90 GSM. Here's today's pen. I'm just going to turn this slightly on the side. Make sure we're still in camera. There we go. So we've got here a Platypus Model 10. With a broad nib. I said that's a broad Yoho nib. Price for this pen, when I bought it, was 170 Aussie dollars. Chances are it's gone up. The ink is by Diamine, and it's Spruce. This is a scented ink. Got a very sweet, meant to be like a foresty type smell, I believe. Drying times. Here's immediate. Wow. Fairly wet looking, isn't it? 10 seconds. 30 seconds. One minute. Going to go on to the next line, do a 2-minute test. 2 minutes, and there's still a tiniest little bit of a smudge there, so this is a very wet combo. Let's look at line variation. Here's no pressure. Here's with some pressure. A little bit extra coming out, but not really enough to really worry about. Let's move the mic down to the page and write the sentence. The nib feels a little bit on the stiff side. Audibly, it's whispering to me. It's gorgeous to listen to. It is a standard Yoho nib. It writes like that. It performs really well, which is what I expect. And then, finally, my little flowy, scribbly type test. Very smooth on the page. Not like it's glass smooth, not like anything really too smooth. It's just nice. It's just pleasant. It feels a little bit tactile. You've got that stiffness to it. Really know you're writing with this pen. Let's swap on over and I'll give you my thoughts and scores for this pen. So let's start with pen looks. It's unusual, isn't it, this finish? It's very tactile, really nice to hold, really nice to feel. To me, it's that tactileness which really attracts me to it. Pen looks, yeah, it's a nice plain looking pen, tactile, nice to look at, 8 out of 10. Build quality, exceptional, really good. You know, we've got that weight here in the body, all the threads seem to be fine. I've had this now about 18 months, had no issues with it, keep taking the cap on and off, really nice to use. Build quality, 8 out of 10. Writing experience, feels really nice. It's got that nice tactile feel when I'm holding it. You can really feel it. You've got that nice wide section there. I know that's coming into the comfort part. On the page, we've got that lovely whispering as we're putting the ink down. Very nice, 8 out of 10. Ink flow. So I'm just going to show you this ink for a minute. It looks green, doesn't it? But there is, hopefully I'm catching this, a nice red sheen to the ink, and that red sheen really coming out in my writing. Virtually every word is showing some sort of red, and I'm hoping that the camera is catching it, which is why I'm moving it around to hopefully capture some of that if I get the light in the right direction. The ink, very, very wet. It flows beautifully, not had any issues with hard starts or skipping. Really nice. Going to give it a 9 out of 10. Comfort. It feels nice in the hand. So you can post it if you want to. I personally think it feels too long and too heavy then. But unposted, it's fine. And then again, just to show you it posted, you know, but it's very easy to take off. So it's not too hard on there. The tactileness is really nice. You can really feel the pen, and that makes such a difference. So for comfort, yeah, 8 out of 10. Value for money. Well, it's a good solid pen. It's 3D printed. It's made by hand. Yes, I know the 3D printing isn't done by hand. That's done by computer. But he's spent the time to design it. He's used that time to look at the weight and to insert a weight in there to help with it rolling. He's designed this pattern in. All of that takes time. And yes, you use that same pattern multiple times, but it still takes time. Loads of different choices. Again, makes it very nice so you can personalise it. Very nice. I'm going to give it value for money. Bearing in mind it's 170 Aussie dollars, or was when I bought it. I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10 in terms of value for money. So that means the total score for the Platypus Model 10 with Diamine Spruce is 8.17 out of 10. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you've got any 3D printed pens, I know there's a number of makers now which are doing them. What are your thoughts and what's your experience with them? Please drop any comments down below. Let's kickstart the conversation. Please hit the thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.